Hey, and welcome to this episode of Co-Creating with AI. I'm Martin Kjellström, and with me, as always, is Rasmus, my co-host. How are you today, Rasmus?
I'm good. I've had a good start to the year, I feel.
Yeah.
Like with some resolutions. Not going to into details, but so far so good after a few
Okay.
days.
Yeah.
But we'll
Yeah.
see. It's nice. I have a lot of energy. How
Yeah.
are you?
Awesome. Yeah, I had a super relaxing holidays with the family, and right now it's super cold, -10 Celsius in Sweden, and our heating system has decided to and that this is the perfect moment to give up and just stop heating the house. So now we're dependent on the fireplace in the living room. So we huddle up in front of the fire and also like make warm coffee and tea a lot, and just like and it's quite cozy time as well.
But you don't look. I mean, you're wearing a t-shirt, so it can't be that cold.
No, it's all right.
Wearing
Yeah,
it throughout. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But
Okay.
yeah, today we're going to talk about our summaries of 2023 and predictions for 24.
Yeah. I mean, sounds fun. I mean, it's been an eventful year, and like
Yeah, definitely.
I guess
Uh,
the stuff we're talking about, right?
yeah,
Working with AI. And I think 24 is not going to surprise any less, maybe more.
yeah,
We'll
definitely.
see.
Mhm.
But yeah, what are your like biggest takeaways from the past year? Biggest surprises or like biggest yeah, I mean most memorable.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise is still the pace of the industry, how much we have to adapt to new things every week coming along, and how actually being resilient towards change is one of the foremost business qualities at this point in time, where uh, you can't find solid ground. You're always like jumping from new vantage points all the time, new perspectives coming every week where you have to adapt. And so that's been the biggest takeaway for me. And like the biggest such changes has been with, well, basically GPT-4 was launched last year. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest game changer. And then they OpenAI opened up for new capabilities with the vision, and so on. And that's like people are just barely scraping the surface of leveraging that. So those have been really game changers. But then it's also astounding that the open source world is keeping up to this extent. And I really think like that was created by Meta, that they set that culture that you can actually invest significantly in an LLM and then open source the weights. And now the latest edition, late in late last year, was Mistral, and their sort of the French connection in the AI world, and their awesome stepping up the open source game.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think it's interesting like how distributed AI development is. I mean, in one way,
Mm.
right, OpenAI is definitely at the forefront, right? And you could look at them as, being dominant in some ways. But like, and maybe this is starting to like project forward, but like it really looks like the trend is towards less dominance fast, like quick catch up,
Mm.
quick catch up. I mean, I don't think there's anyone like, well, I mean, some are claiming they are matching GPT-4 in like reasoning. I mean, Google did with their Gemini Ultra, still TBD or to be released or whatever you call
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I don't know if Claude 2, yeah, they said they beat GPT-4, I think, in some stuff, some literary things.
mm.
But yeah, definitely the feel is that, across like everywhere, like in Europe even, like we have like a significant AI player,
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, and I think that's like partly open source and it's partly just like how available this technology is. It's like,
Mm.
it's a little bit like open AI is like founded on open source, right? It's founded on like the Transformers papers by, I don't know if it was Ilya maybe working at Google. I think so. I
Mm.
think it was something like that.
Yeah.
Like Ilya who founded OpenAI as well. But like it's like it's just out there, right? The technology, so to say, is at least in its most basic form in theory is very like public knowledge.
Mm.
So it's cool to like that. I think that's been like maybe the biggest surprise and something I sort of see continuing. Like it's just like how like open source, closed source, whatever, but like just how like how quick and how broad and how distributed and how like fast. It's just like a very big wave everywhere. Uh, and then let's see, how bubbly it is, right? But it really feels like just like it's like just a wave, just like starting to kind of gather speed and momentum.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, what do you think that will look like in 2024? Like, what will be the actual outcome for businesses?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think like I don't know. I've been reading a bunch of good like articles by there's always these end of year articles by like VC firms and different smart people out there. Um, you know, trying to kind of model and construct frameworks for how to look at like AI development, different types of companies, etc. And one of the good ones I read was by NFX Ventures. I think they're called NFX Ventures. And basically, like just looking at basically all companies are AI companies now. And I think that will be even more obvious in 2024. It will be like all companies are email companies now.
Mm.
All companies are I don't know, collaborative document companies almost. Maybe there are some still sending word files around, but
Yeah.
people have file sharing and versioning, and most companies use cloud in some form, right? And they have cell phones calling each other. And I think that that will quite quickly be that all companies are using AI at least on the base level to just improve their operations. I think that will really like be a major kind of like it's a little bit like in 2023 people realize they should be looking at this, and I think in 2024 people will be actually
Mm.
implementing it
Yeah.
broadly. And same thing with 2023, like most really good companies like scale ups or like fast moving companies, small and big, have been like really throwing AI into their product wherever they can, pretty much. But I think that will also go like a lot broader in 2024. That
Mm.
I don't know what a good example is, but like I mean, a lot of companies have like, especially like where there's an um, online purchase, e-commerce, etc. There's an opportunity to chat with someone, right?
Mm.
Like an actual person. And I think in the same way, I think maybe this is the year of the like really good chatbots that can help you find you know the product you're looking for, really get an answer to your question, in terms of like
Mm.
replacing customer. I'd like just the feeling where like AI is actually part of like the product
Mm.
offering very broadly, and not only by a select few companies that are like fast movers. And
Mm.
I think I'd probably come up with more, but those are like the at least answering that question where I think that wave goes is like I just think like this year will be much more tangible, like very
Yeah.
like for most people. That's my sense, but
Mm.
also like 1 year is like a long time, but also a short time. So let's see.
Mm.
How about you? Like, what are you excited about? What are you like? What do you think will happen this
I,
year?
I think I'm most excited about multimodal becoming much more mainstream. And still, it's there are very few people that know about the capabilities that exist. I think that um, it's very easy to believe in when you only talk to AI people to just feel like that multimodal capabilities are commonplace and everybody knows about what they can be used for, but they're only available, as far as I know, to premium subscribers to OpenAI so far, and I think that's a pretty big blocker for mainstream awareness, I think, because just showing people like that you can take a photo of something and have GPT-4 just recognize
Mm.
perfectly what is in that photo, not only what stuff is there, but the mood of the picture, and what does it like, what does it look like, and what's the ambience, and then combining that with the voice features of the mobile app of OpenAI. Like, people are blown away when I show stuff
Mm.
that has been out for 6 months, if they're not aware about of it, and that's just that awareness coming out into the mainstream. I think will be a big part of defining 2024. And but it's the I also think that for the AI laggards, like, or people that are not adopting AI yet, many of them are just saying that AI models are just a parrot. They're just quoting phrases from the training data. It's not really any reasoning going on. It's not the game changer that believers say it is. That they will also be proven wrong, and their sort of denial uh, will move, like, they will, instead of being in denial, they will move to being perhaps scared, and so there will be more public backlash against AI as well.
Mm.
I think in 2024, when these capabilities come out, people will be more scared of losing their jobs and of AI being this unknown thing that there's very little information or knowledge about how to relate to, and that will produce fear, and and the fear will then produce the need to communicate better for AI companies and be more um, um, speak up more about the actual user value and what AI brings to productivity and humanness. So we will also see more clear definitions of what is the usage of AI, and how do you relate properly as a human to a machine becoming more and more intelligent.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I'll take I'll agree with one of them, and I'll think I'll disagree with the
Yeah,
other. But
yeah.
like in perhaps like on multimodality, like I really believe that, like, or really believe, but like that's like one of the really big game changers is like,
Mm,
you know, just the feeling of chat, like using ChatGPT and say, hey, write this text now, create an image about it, and put a hat on it,
yeah.
And so just that's kind of like, but that's very superficial, like in one
Mm,
sense, because it still can't edit any of your existing pictures. It can't, which Adobe Firefly can or whatever, like, there are other things that can, and you have Stable Diffusion can scale up images, and you have like other type of capabilities, like putting in an image, getting like a similar one, or extending it, like really similar one, not like ChatGPT does it. So like I feel like it's superficial now, and I think this year it's going to go potentially a lot deeper.
mm,
At least that's what I hope.
yeah.
Like whether that's within text, speech, images, video, is like it's a little bit like 2023 was in one way the year of the demos. The
Mm,
year of the really cool, well scripted demos. But it's still like few products, and those products are pretty simple, that have really succeeded
mm,
with using these new AI capabilities to bring like a product to a lot of people. And most of them have actually been within like marketing and advertising, etc. Which is in one way a relatively straightforward and simple use case for these
mm,
models. And even there, and there you've seen like some quite good end-to-end products coming about. But I really think that it will go a lot deeper in all of these, in logical reasoning, in data analysis, in image generation and editing, in video generation and editing, in like voice interaction and understanding. I think a lot of these things will quite quickly go quite deep. And I'm not sure here, but my sense is that OpenAI or someone else, whoever really goes with wins the first part of this consumer race, of the UI, kind of the interface for getting access to these new capabilities for like the broad market. Um, Whoever does that and wins that will be like the one who funnels all these like very specific capabilities to the end user, so that it's just take this picture but make it a little brighter,
Yeah.
as well as being able to say put a giraffe in it, like that depth, like all those, which are like quite different things, right? You know that,
Mm.
but like it's um and it's very different from like generate an image like this, which is analyzing the image, what are like describing it in words, and then taking those words and sending it into the image gem. That's
Yeah.
very different from like the other way. So I think that will really like I think that will be like a big thing during 2024 that will really go from demo to like fully fledged products.
Mm.
In many ways. And the second thing I think I'll disagree with is like the fear will go up. I think the fear will go down. I think AI fear is primarily focused around like hyper intellectual AI thinkers, and those people are not really afraid of AI doomsday. Like, and I think that will. It's like a little bit of a funny thing that came up kind of when it was new now, but it's like I think the more people interact with it and realize it's a tool and it's not replacing jobs yet, it's
Mm.
augmenting jobs mostly. It's really nice and can do good things for us. And like the first few consumer products, when people actually are booking their flight tickets, through
Mm.
chatting with an AI, and are shopping, online shopping using whether it's ChatGPT or whatever, like when that thing happens, it's like, yeah, this is nice.
Mm.
But it's still like, yeah, I tell it to find me a pair of shoes, and it gave me three options, and then I picked those, and it paid for me because I had my credit card on file. That's nice. That's not scary.
Yeah.
So I'm actually I'll take the opposite on that. That I think the AI doomery will
Mm.
probably go down this year, but who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Um,
What are your stock bets for 2024? Do you
my
have?
stock bets.
Yes.
This is not financial advice.
No?
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know actually. Like, I mean, I'm a big believer in like for this year, like for a year, it's very tough because it's
Yeah.
going to depend a lot on macro, and we can nerd into that
Mm.
if we want to. Um, but like, I think the clearest, uniquely positioned company in AI is Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that just because they really like, there's no one really other that's going really in the real world AI route. Like
Mm.
seriously, I mean, you could say Boston Dynamics has done it, but it seems to be quite different.
Mm.
And they're going, let's see if it's right, but they're going kind of the LLM, or like the one neural network approach for their cars now. It's better than their previously 300,000 line rules based system.
Mm.
Um, and they're with Optimus, even though it's like still pretty shitty, like they are doing it in kind of two form factors.
Mm.
Um, so I'd say that's not the investment advice, but whatever disclaimer you need to have for that.
Yeah.
But for me, like I think that's the clearest differentiated one that has, and then obviously there's a question of valuation and everything, right?
Mm.
But in a few years. I think it's really tough to say within kind of the space we're talking about most, like with LLMs who are going to be the big winners, at least in the like
Mm.
with the public in the public markets. Still hard to say how this will impact Google's like base business,
Mm.
and how it will um, add to it, and how they will do in the race. I still think they are going to do well
Mm.
because they have the biggest kind of organized data set. They probably have still the most AI talent in the world. They have all the compute. They have $100 billion in cash.
Mm.
They're kind of they have been long-term believers in this since before anyone else. So I still think they're good in the race. But they're very hard to see how they're going to do. And same like thing with Microsoft. At this point, I still haven't seen any data on like what the uptake is for kind of Copilot, or if they've gone broadly with it. Are they
Mm.
going to, I don't know what they take for their kind of Office kind of or Teams licenses. Um, but are they like going to be able to add $36 per user for a large part of their user base, like enterprise customers? That would be huge, right?
Yeah.
But they're also richly valued. So I'm not sure. I'd say I don't actually. I'm not sure like how to ride that wave. Nvidia is of course like really interesting, right?
Do you think that they have more to give, Nvidia?
I
Or
don't know. That's like they're so richly
yeah,
valued.
yeah,
I don't know, but like, and there's also gonna be competition,
mm,
but they are like clear front runners, and everyone's buying what they're selling. So it's like a question of how
mm,
they can ramp up production, and their sales growth over the last year has been completely ridiculous.
yeah,
So I honestly don't know. Like a year ago, it would have been nice to have that discussion. We should have had it then. We'd be like, okay, yeah,
yeah,
everyone's scrambling for GPUs. Let's buy Nvidia. Such
yeah,
an obvious bet in hindsight, actually.
yeah,
Such an obvious bet. On Twitter, was everyone was like stacking GPUs,
yeah,
got a
yeah,
thousand, and
mm,
like trying to get them.
yeah. No, I was uh, I bought Nvidia and Broadcom back in the GPT-3 days.
Oh, you
I
did?
realized I have to like put my money on AI and I just like did a like this.
Really?
Who will gain from AI? It will be the chip makers. So that's been a big like a good bet for me. Yeah,
Really? Okay, bro.
yeah,
Has Broadcom also done well?
yeah, really good.
I didn't even
And
know that company. Really.
yeah, no, they are a big chip maker in but for auxiliary chip for communication and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, ARM
Oh,
processors.
congrats.
Yeah,
That was a
mm,
nice catch.
yeah. But
Uh, What else
so
for you? Like anything else? Like, do you have any? What's your stock tips for
no, I
2024?
think actually the reason I ask is that I'm a bit back and forth, like on like because there are in the hardware space there are a lot of excitement around specialized processors and
Hmm.
like these like you can actually put a transformer in a chip and it will do much better. Like performance could be like 50x of a generic GPU,
Yeah.
and once that come out, if that becomes a big scale thing, and the libraries now that run the transformers, like Hugging Face transformer library, is so mature because it's seeing like such a heavy investment from the open source community in terms of developing to maturity. It means that when it's so stable and it can run, it's one library that can run any model. It means that you can start to trust to put it into hardware to make a hardware
Hmm.
run the library natively, so to speak. And that means that maybe Nvidia will start to see competition. And if that happens, then a lot of expectations on the Nvidia stock will move elsewhere. And but so that's what I'm thinking about now. Like if if is it a good year to sell Nvidia or
Yeah.
not?
I mean, I wouldn't keep it up. If I had had this run, I would
Yeah,
sell it, but who knows,
yeah,
right?
mm,
But that's also because, like, you know, there are several angles. Like, they've been sort
mm,
of alone in the game so far, but like Microsoft are building their own chips.
yeah,
OpenAI is racing for their own chips. Google are
mm,
building chips,
mm,
So, I mean, I bet Amazon is doing it.
yeah,
So, like, they will be they will host and provide. Nvidia is
mm,
trying to get into that game a bit as well, but it's
mm,
like for the broad market, they're gonna go. If they're using Amazon or Azure or Google
mm,
Cloud, like
mm,
they're gonna probably keep doing it and get their GPUs there. I think.
yeah,
So there are different angles, but who knows?
mm,
Like it's a good company. It's been growing like crazy. So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. That was
Yeah.
a nice
Random.
parenthesis to yeah,
Yeah.
very random that we went so deep into that. But
Yeah.
it's interesting too, like to just think about where the money is going in the AI space. But
Yeah. I
so
mean, one funny. Go on.
what we are agreeing on for 2024 is multimodal and a lot more impact on actual business, and that we will go further and deeper in an integration of a lot of different capabilities into solid products, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Like that's
Yeah.
definitely think like that would be my main bets. And I'd add to that like is like I'd be surprised if we don't have like one consumer breakthrough like
Mm,
this year, like
mm,
something that will really kind of be a kind of capture imaginations.
yeah.
I'd be surprised
Yeah.
with the amount of stuff being built. Whether that's like a voice companion, whether
Mm,
that's like a some twist on the UI of just using these general models, like or getting access to models apart from chat, or
mm,
something else. Maybe some like really nice consumer app that's kind of your study, but I don't know what it is
mm.
going to be. But something that captures imagination.
I think one hint of that was the demo video of Google Gemini.
Yeah,
That was like
yeah,
that. It was not reflecting on the actual capabilities of Gemini, but I think I would bet that there's at least 20 teams trying to implement, like, or not trying, but actually working on
yeah,
implementing what was seen in that video right now,
yeah,
because um, all those capabilities actually exist if you just integrate. Like, you
yeah,
can build that product with existing technologies right now. So I think that's going to be something that, just to have that kind of interaction, fluid interaction. It's a bit about what you described earlier in the episode.
No, I
Um,
agree, and I think it's
yeah.
interesting. Like on that topic, like I think we could see some surprise as well. Like Meta's kind of AR glasses that were
Mm,
like I don't even know like how launched they were or demoed or whatever, but I saw the demo video with Zuckerberg.
mm,
I think they were like either Oakley's or Ray-Bans, so they looked really nice.
mm,
And I think that there could be something like that where like all of a sudden the way they implement AI in it makes it actually cool and useful.
mm,
And like, I mean, just such a thing as, you keep them on and they, tell you like they put the name on top of people you meet,
yeah.
just like something like that.
Yeah.
Just something that people like, I forget the names of people all the time, but I have the fucking Facebook
Mm,
thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All my Facebook friends.
Mm,
And then I can search that because like I don't know, like
mm,
there could be something like that that really takes us to the future this year
mm,
in terms of like imagination. Not that it couldn't be done now, but like just
mm,
you know some
mm,
crossover between all these different trends that are emerging with VR
yeah.
and AR and AI and blockchain and whatever. Something
Mm.
something there. We'll see.
And then also, lastly, I think we have to add to the list just that the capabilities of the foundation models will keep ramping up.
Yeah, yeah. Speed, cost, latency.
Mm,
Everything will
yeah.
improve.
And then
Context
I
windows.
I actually don't think this will be the year of GPT-5. I think that will be 2025. So it's like, for people trying to beat GPT-4, they still have a year. I would
Yeah,
bet to do that, and there will be serious attempts to move there. But it's hosted on such a big chunk of compute, so I'm unsure if an actual open source LLM will get all the way there.
yeah, yeah. And also it's like one part is getting there, and another part is like being able to provide it to 100 million people, which
Exactly.
would be like a Google
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah.
And that's why like it's going to be tough for Mistral and these like guys to beat
Mm,
that game, to go
mm,
really broad. So like in one way, it's like I think it's all eyes on Google in one way
yeah.
for that.
Yes.
Um, let's see.
And so for Meta or Facebook, AI is really, it looks from the outside like a research project for them with generative AI, but maybe there's something where they will actually make a bet on a product as well coming up from them.
I think so. I mean, I really think so. And like actually on that topic, I wouldn't be surprised if Google or Apple puts it in our phones,
Mm.
or Amazon,
Yeah,
upgrades Alexa, so
yeah,
that like hundreds of millions or billions of people all of a sudden are like, "Hey, what was that guy I met, last
yeah.
week?
Mm.
Oh, in your calendar you had these meetings."
Mm.
Or it would be like, what's the recipe for this, and then it gives you the recipe straight away, and
Mm.
you want me to read it out for you, like, it could be like
Mm.
just like really getting like leveling up in that way.
Yeah, and where the phone becomes your actual companion
Yeah.
in a much better way. I think that's a really good prediction for where we're heading at some point.
And it's such a big difference
Yeah.
if it's like the Chat GPT app with the plus subscription, or
Mm.
if it's just Siri,
Yeah.
or if it's just, Bard in your
Yeah.
Android
Definitely.
phone.
Yeah.
It's such a difference.
So that, yeah,
Um,
that's a race that is probably underway. It's just very invisible
yeah, Apple
right now.
actually released their first model, I think, publicly, Ferret.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it, but I have an article open in a tab, so I need to
Yeah,
look at
and
it.
they also released their open transformer library for the M2 processors, where
Okay.
yeah, so they like you can really run performant transformers on Mac um, uh, these days, and of course that is to allow developers to ramp up their like and get more visibility for Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. I
awesome.
mean, good, fun stuff.
Yeah. Thanks
Delving
for
into New York.
this episode. Fun conversation and good to integrate thoughts coming up over the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been nice.
Thank you to dear listener as well. This has been an episode of Co-Creating with AI, and we'll be back next week with another episode, and also looking to um, ramp up our work on bringing guests on the show. So let's see who will be the next person we talk to. And if you want to suggest someone or be interviewed yourself on the show, then let us know.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thanks a lot,
Rasmus.
Gordon.
Thank you.